The initial reaction that I had is the same reaction that many of my colleagues here at Stanford and elsewhere have had when I've shown them, is that, wow, what is this?
Scientists studying lunar samples have made a discovery that's out of this world. Fossils embedded in moon rocks. These tiny alien-like imprints have led to questions about whether the moon, or even deep space, once harbored life. Are these fossils proof of extraterrestrial existence, or could they hold an explanation far closer to home? What secrets are locked in the moon's ancient stone? 1. The truth behind moon rocks. Inside a heavily secured vault at the Johnson Space Center lies an extraordinary collection of moon rocks gathered during the Apollo missions. This lab holds hundreds of pounds of lunar material, some untouched since astronauts first brought them back. These could hold evidence that challenges what we know about life and the universe. Recently, with the help of advanced technology, NASA has begun unlocking previously sealed samples, and what they've found is shaking up expectations. Take the moon rocks with magnetism, for example. Apollo 11 and 12 brought back samples like 122 and 12C22, which confused even the expert scientists because they're magnetized. The moon doesn't have a global magnetic field anymore, and any ancient field wasn't strong enough to explain the strength of the magnetism in these rocks. Initial theories blamed solar wind exposure or magnetic activity billions of years ago, but closer examination revealed unusual magnetic patterns and isotopic quirks, something that suggests intentional alterations. Some researchers argue this points to interference by extraterrestrial intelligence, possibly even direct creation. Then there's Big Bertha, a famous rock collected by Apollo 14. One part of it contains an Earth-like granite fragment, believed to be about 2 billion years old. Scientists say it might have reached the moon after an asteroid hit Earth and threw debris into space. Yet, skeptics note, this doesn't explain everything. Its chemical makeup and position inside the lunar breccia seem strange. Recent studies of newly opened moon samples take this a step further. Using today's technology, researchers have reportedly found fossil-like microscopic structures within some rocks. These tiny formations don't match anything in Earth's fossil records. Their unique arrangement and material hint they might not be natural at all. Some scientists suggest these structures could be traces of microbial life from another world. If true, this could mark the first evidence of alien life, preserved right here in material from the moon. NASA brought back 842 pounds of moon samples, and most remain untouched. These rocks might not just tell us about the moon's history, they could hold clues about extraterrestrial interactions and life beyond Earth. As scientists dig deeper into these anomalies, each discovery makes it clearer that the moon might be more than just a nearby chunk of rock. It could be a key to understanding the bigger cosmic picture. Want to learn about other alien discoveries like these? Like this video and subscribe to our channel for more videos just like this. We've got a lot more where that came from. 2. Fossils on Mars. In 1996, scientists studying a Martian meteorite found in Antarctica, named ALH 84001, made an extraordinary discovery. The meteorite, thought to have been ejected from Mars millions of years ago by an impact event, contained microscopic structures resembling fossilized bacteria. This finding had the world locked in and raised the possibility that Mars might have once harbored life. A team of NASA scientists closely examined the meteorite using advanced electron microscopes. They identified features resembling tiny bacteria-like shapes and found organic molecules within the rock. These elements suggested potential biological activity, leading some to propose that the structures might represent ancient Martian life. The idea grabbed headlines worldwide, stirring hope that humanity might not be alone in the universe. However, the claims face skepticism. Many researchers argued that the structures could have formed through non-biological processes, such as mineral growth or chemical reactions. They suggested the organic molecules found in ALH 84001 might not be evidence of life, but rather the result of abiotic processes. Over the years, some scientists speculated that if microbial life ever existed on Mars, it could have been wiped out by the planet's harsh conditions, leaving behind remnants like those observed in ALH 84001. Yet no direct evidence of life has been discovered on Mars to date, and the potential connection between the meteorite and ancient Martian life remains uncertain. Despite the lingering doubts, ALH 84001 significantly influenced the scientific community. It motivated further research on Mars as a potential habitat for life, and inspired missions like NASA's Curiosity rover, which continues to explore the Martian surface for signs of past or present life. While many of the meteorite's mysteries remain unresolved, it stands as a milestone in humanity's search for extraterrestrial life. In 1993, researchers determined that ALH 84001 originated from Mars, formed from volcanic lava over 4 billion years ago. This discovery made it the oldest Martian meteorite found on Earth. The meteorite was likely ejected from Mars during a meteor impact around 3.6 billion years ago. The debate over the potential signs of life in ALH 84001 continues. Some studies suggest that the carbonate globules and organic molecules observed in the meteorite could have formed through non-biological processes such as mineral growth or chemical reactions. Additionally, the worm-like features resembling fossils might be uneven patches in the coating used to prepare the samples for electron microscopy. But the fossil theory still stands as one of the most popular ones. 3. The Viking program. In 1976, NASA launched the Viking program, sending 2 landers, Viking 1 and Viking 2, to Mars. Their mission was to study the Martian surface and atmosphere, providing groundbreaking data that would further our understanding of the planet. However, an unexpected discovery stirred debate, particularly among those interested in the possibility of alien life. Each Viking lander came equipped with scientific instruments aimed at testing the soil for signs of life. The biology experiments led to mixed conclusions, but one of the most surprising results came from the labeled release experiment. This test was designed to detect microbial life by exposing Martian soil to nutrients. In a curious twist, the experiment showed signs of biological activity, hinting that microbes might exist in Mars's harsh environment. This prompted intense excitement and speculation that life might be thriving on the red planet. However, further testing failed to provide clear evidence to confirm life's presence. Scientists speculated that the reaction could have been a chemical process, not biological. The nutrient-rich solution might have caused a reaction with the soil rather than supporting life forms. This unanswered question made the whole controversy even worse. Some wondered if the Viking landers did indeed detect alien life, but that the methods employed were not sophisticated enough to confirm it. Mainstream science suggested that the results were likely the result of a chemical reaction. But the unanswered questions continued to intrigue. Since the Viking missions, the idea that Mars could have supported life, or still harbors life beneath its surface, has remained a popular subject of debate. Some believe that Mars's environment might once have been more hospitable, while others think alien life could be lying dormant, waiting to be discovered by future missions. While later Mars exploration efforts have yet to uncover definitive signs of life, the results from Viking 1 and Viking 2 remain a point of interest. In a way, the Viking missions might have provided the first hints of extraterrestrial life on Mars, even if we didn't fully recognize it at the time. 4. Mexico aliens. In September 2023, journalist and UFO enthusiast Jaime Maussan presented 2 alleged alien mummies to the Mexican Congress, claiming they were non-human remains. These mummies, reportedly discovered in 2017 near the Nazca Lines in Peru, were the strangest examples of aliens we've seen in recent times. Mummies measured less than 3.5 feet tall, with elongated skulls, lightweight bones, and 3-fingered hands, traits that are vastly different from anything seen in human anatomy. Adding to the mystery, Maussan claimed the mummies had retractable necks, a biological trait not found in humans. Carbon dating suggested they were over 1,000 years old. An initial DNA analysis purportedly revealed that nearly 1/3 of their genetic material did not match any known Earth species. These claims weren't really believed by any means, with Maussan confidently saying that the mummies could be evidence of extraterrestrial life. The announcement generated global headlines and got the entire scientific community involved. While some UFO enthusiasts considered the findings a potential breakthrough, experts weren't all that convinced. Many researchers argued the mummies could be elaborate fabrications, assembled using manipulated human and animal remains. Peru's Institute for Legal Medicine and Forensic Sciences analyzed the mummies too, but they couldn't come to a clear conclusion. Mao San's controversial history further complicated the situation. He had previously made claims about alleged alien discoveries that were later discredited. This background cast doubt on the validity of his new findings, even among some members of the UFO research community. Despite the mounting skepticism, Mao San and his supporters maintained their stance, pushing for further study of the mummies. Calls for more rigorous investigation continue, with figures like U.S. Congressman Tim Burchett urging independent researchers, outside government oversight, to examine the evidence. Public interest in the case remains high. Maybe one day we'll actually have an answer to what these really are. 5. Mystery of Lovelock Cave. In the 1930s, miners excavating Lovelock Cave in Nevada uncovered skeletal remains that have fascinated historians, archaeologists, and conspiracy theorists for decades. Among the discoveries were unusually large skeletons, with some bones reportedly suggesting heights of up to 9 feet. Additionally, traces of red hair were found with the remains, adding a mysterious element to the story. These unique physical characteristics didn't align with typical human remains from the region, which led to a lot of questions about their origins. The discovery drew attention not just for the physical anomalies, but also because it seemed to validate local Paiute legends. The Paiutes told stories of a red-haired race of giants known as the Sitaka, described as aggressive, cannibalistic beings who were eventually cornered and killed inside Lovelock Cave by the tribe. These legends, passed down for generations, suddenly gained credibility in the wake of the miners' finds. Further excavations of the cave revealed more than just skeletons. Artifacts such as baskets, tools, and animal remains suggested the site had been inhabited for a long period. Some skeletons had disproportionately long limbs and large skulls, traits that stood out even among other Native American archaeological discoveries. The findings raised questions about whether these individuals were an isolated, unique human population, or something more enigmatic. Mainstream archaeologists argue that natural explanations, such as gigantism or acromegaly, conditions that lead to excessive bone growth, could explain the skeleton's size. They also suggest the red hair may have resulted from environmental factors, such as decomposition altering pigment over time. These explanations have been largely accepted by the scientific community, which classifies the skeletons as human remains. However, alternative theories have flourished. UFO researchers and fringe historians propose that the remains could belong to extraterrestrial beings or alien-human hybrids. They point to the distinct features, including the size and hair color, as evidence of non-human ancestry. With the way they look, this does seem likely, but as of right now, no one's been able to definitively prove it. But then again, what is proof of aliens really like? 6. The Paracas Skulls. The Paracas skulls, discovered in the 1920s by archaeologist Julio Tello in Peru's Paracas region, have long fascinated researchers and enthusiasts of ancient mysteries. Tello unearthed more than 300 mummies at a burial site near the Paracas Peninsula, many of which had unusually elongated skulls. These skulls had cranial capacities up to 25% larger and 60% heavier than typical human skulls, so they couldn't be human. While ancient cultures practiced cranial deformation by binding infants' heads, the Paracas skulls exhibit features that seem to be something else entirely. Their larger eye sockets, altered bone structures, and unique cranial characteristics are unlike any artificially shaped skulls found elsewhere. Initial DNA studies on the Paracas skulls added to the intrigue. Preliminary results indicated genetic markers not associated with any known human or hominid populations, igniting debates about their possible origins. Some researchers argue the skulls could belong to an unidentified humanoid species, while others propose a more controversial theory: the remains of extraterrestrial beings. Proponents of these ideas point to structural anomalies, such as the absence of the sagittal suture, a common feature in human skulls, and the sheer volume of the cranium, which they believe might indicate advanced intelligence. These unique features have also drawn comparisons to descriptions of extraterrestrial beings found in modern UFO lore. Some speculate that the Paracas skulls could represent an ancient alien species or humans, genetically modified by extraterrestrial intervention. This theory ties their distinct physical traits to myths about advanced beings influencing early human civilizations. 7. Elongated Star Child. In 1930, an archaeologist exploring a cave in Mexico made a startling discovery. A small, deformed skull with features unlike any human remains previously encountered. Dubbed the Star Child skull, the specimen appeared to belong to a child of around 5 years old. However, its elongated shape, oversized eye sockets, and unusually thick bone structure defied easy explanation. From the moment it was unearthed, the skull led to questions about its origins and whether it could be evidence of something more than human. Initial examination suggested the skull's features might be the result of medical conditions, such as hydrocephalus or cranial deformities. Yet these explanations did not fully account for its dense bone composition, symmetrical elongation, or the size and shape of its eye sockets. The distinct characteristics led some to propose alternative theories. UFO enthusiasts, in particular, posited that the Star Child skull could belong to an alien being, or even represent a hybrid of human and extraterrestrial genetics. The mystery deepened when the skull was brought to the attention of researcher Lloyd Pye in 1999. Pye argued that its abnormalities went far beyond the boundaries of known human evolution or medical conditions. He claimed that the skull might be evidence of ancient alien intervention, with its unique shape and features pointing to possible genetic modification. The eye sockets, resembling depictions of extraterrestrials commonly seen in UFO lore, reinforced the idea that the skull could represent a hybrid child. In 2003, DNA testing provided further intrigue. Mitochondrial DNA analysis confirmed a human maternal lineage, but nuclear DNA tests, which could reveal paternal origins, were inconclusive due to degradation. For supporters of the alien hypothesis, the degraded nuclear DNA became a cornerstone of their argument, suggesting that it might have contained non-human genetic material. Skeptics argue that the Star Child skull's anomalies can be explained by natural deformities or genetic disorders, dismissing the need for extraterrestrial explanations. Despite these rational interpretations, the skull remains a fixture in discussions of ancient aliens and UFO research. Its discovery in a remote cave continues to symbolize the enduring mystery of whether humanity's past might intersect with life beyond Earth. 8. 2023 Aliens. In May 2023, an extraordinary event took place in the Silverado Ranch neighborhood of Las Vegas, immediately pointing to the possibility of extraterrestrial life. Residents reported witnessing a large, bright object descending from the sky. Initially visible as a glowing light, the object seemed to fall and crash into a backyard. The incident was immediate and dramatic, with people in the neighborhood alarmed by the spectacle. The most astonishing part of the story came after the object hit the ground. Several witnesses reported seeing two beings emerge from the wreckage. These beings were described as having large, dark eyes and slender, elongated bodies. Their appearance was unlike anything human, making it clear that they were not of this world. The creatures reportedly spent some time moving around the crash site, seemingly investigating or reacting to their surroundings, before being startled when a family approached them. The witnesses described being paralyzed with fear, with the beings quickly fleeing the scene in an apparent attempt to escape. What made this whole thing that much more interesting was that the incident was captured on both security and body cameras. The family who witnessed the event had their cameras rolling, and a nearby doorbell camera recorded moments of the interaction, which quickly garnered media attention. The footage of the incident was initially released to the public and shared across social media platforms, adding a level of credibility to the witnesses' stories. The images seemed to show strange movement at the crash site, and the clarity of the footage led many to believe that it was no hoax. Local authorities were notified immediately after the event, prompting a rapid response from the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. Police, along with additional investigators, combed through the crash site, searching for any physical evidence of extraterrestrial activity. Despite the eyewitness reports and the visual evidence captured on the cameras, no tangible proof of a crash or extraterrestrial beings was found. There were no remnants of the alleged UFO or physical evidence of the strange creatures that were claimed to have emerged from it. The investigation concluded with no concrete evidence, which led to varying interpretations of the event. Some skeptics posited that the family may have fabricated the story for attention, or that it was an elaborate hoax. Doubts were there about the authenticity of the footage and whether there might be a more plausible explanation behind the strange events. However, the footage and witness testimonies have continued to generate intense interest and debate within the UFO community. Many were still asking question, were the beings truly extraterrestrial, or was there a more earthly explanation? The lack of hard evidence remains a major obstacle to substantiating the claim, yet the incident stands out as one of the most compelling UFO sightings of 23 and history in general. 9. Atta. In 2003, a 6-inch skeleton was unearthed in Lunar, an abandoned mining town in Chile's Atacama Desert. Dubbed the Atacama skeleton, or Atta, its discovery quickly became the focus of intense speculation due to its unusual physical traits. Atta's elongated skull, large eye sockets, and tiny, doll-like frame led many to theorize that the remains might belong to an extraterrestrial being. Compounding the mystery, the skeleton had only 10 ribs instead of the typical 12, a rare anomaly not often observed in known human remains. The skeletal features had researchers speechless. While initially thought to be an infant, Atta's bones showed evidence of some degree of skeletal maturity. This suggested she might not have been a newborn, but something entirely different. The elongated skull and oversized eyes closely resembled depictions of extraterrestrials, making Atta a prime subject of interest for UFO enthusiasts and researchers investigating potential alien contact on Earth. Attempts to explain Atta's origins included a variety of theories. Some proposed she was an alien-human hybrid, or the result of ancient extraterrestrial experiments. Others linked her discovery to local Atacama desert folklore, which includes stories of strange lights in the sky, mysterious disappearances, and tales of small, otherworldly beings. For UFO researchers, Atta's distinctive features align too well with these legends to be dismissed as coincidence. However, scientific analysis was conducted to provide more concrete answers. Initial studies of Atta's DNA revealed she was human, with genetic markers suggesting she was of Chilean descent. Her unusual characteristics were attributed to a combination of severe genetic mutations. Some scientists suggested conditions like dwarfism or premature aging, progeria, might explain her stunted size and skeletal abnormalities. Despite these findings, the DNA results were incomplete due to the degradation of the sample, leaving some gaps in understanding the full story of Atta's origins. Skeptics maintain that Atta represents a rare but natural human condition, while others argue that the scientific explanations fail to fully account for her unique anatomy. Regardless of the conclusions, the Atacama skeleton continues to lead to debates and conspiracy theories about the possibility of alien life on Earth, ensuring her place in discussions of mysterious discoveries. 10. Burgess Shale fossils. The Burgess Shale, a fossil site in Canada's Rocky Mountains, has become one of the most significant and mysterious fossil discoveries in the world. Dating back 508 million years to the Cambrian period, it contains well-preserved remnants of creatures from an era when complex life was beginning to diversify. What sets these fossils apart, however, is the strange, alien-like appearance of many of the species discovered, raising intriguing questions about their origins. Among the most bizarre and iconic creatures found in the Burgess Shale are Hallucigenia and Opabinia. Hallucigenia, with its spindly legs and spiky body, looks unlike any creature alive today. Opabinia, on the other hand, boasts 5 eyes and a long, trunk-like proboscis protruding from its head, adding to the sense that these creatures belong to an entirely different world. Their unfamiliar anatomies have caused some to question whether these creatures were simply Earth's early experiments with life, or if they could be the result of something more otherworldly. While mainstream scientists typically classify these creatures as early relatives of modern animals, the fossilized remains seem to defy any simple categorization. Their unconventional body structures challenge our understanding of life in the Cambrian period, and in some circles, this has led to more speculative theories. Could these life forms be evidence of extraterrestrial life? With their distinctly non-Earth-like anatomy, some have even suggested that these creatures could be the remnants of an alien biosphere, potentially brought to Earth via space dust or meteorites. The idea, though unconventional, is tempting for those who believe that life's origins may not be entirely Earthbound. What sets the Burgess Shale apart from other fossil sites is the exceptional preservation of the specimens. Fossils found here have retained incredible detail, enabling researchers to study their anatomy in depth. In fact, the preservation is so remarkable that paleontologists can examine soft tissues, allowing them to identify features that are typically lost in fossilization. This level of preservation means that the Burgess Shale has the potential to provide critical insights into not only Earth's distant past, but also to answer larger questions about the origins of life itself, questions that could include whether life beyond Earth is a possibility. Could these bizarre creatures represent an ancient form of life from outside our solar system, preserved through millions of years? While it may sound far-fetched, the notion that aliens could have played a role in shaping Earth's earliest organisms is something to think about, even if you don't fully believe in it. 11. The O'Hare Controversy. On November 7, 2006, an astonishing UFO sighting took place at Chicago's O'Hare International Airport, leaving many confused and questioning what they had witnessed. Around 4:15 p.m. local time, multiple witnesses, including airport employees, pilots, and bystanders, reported seeing a large, dark gray, disc-shaped object hovering above the airport. The object appeared metallic and saucer-like, but it had no visible means of propulsion, making it unlike any aircraft typically seen in the skies. For several minutes, the object remained perfectly stationary in the sky, leading those who saw it to wonder how it was able to float without any visible flight mechanisms. There were reports from various locations within the airport, including some workers at the terminal who noted that they were observing the same strange phenomenon. What was most striking was the sudden movement of the object. After hovering for several minutes, it accelerated upward at an extremely high speed, shooting through the clouds and vanishing from sight in an instant. This abrupt and rapid ascent made it clear that the object wasn't an ordinary aircraft. In the wake of the sighting, the Federal Aviation Administration responded by stating there were no radar anomalies or reports of unusual aircraft during that time. However, the sheer number of witnesses and their consistent descriptions of the event prompted many to question this official statement. Could so many people have been mistaken or confused about what they saw? Considering the broad range of witnesses, ranging from seasoned pilots to airport staff, the credibility of the sighting remained intact. Whether it was a secret military craft, an experimental aircraft, or something far more mysterious, the event remains unexplained, and questions about what happened over O'Hare that day linger. Despite the FAA's dismissive stance, the sheer volume of witnesses continues to keep the questions about this particular event alive, and they all hope to find the answers someday. But what do you think? Have we been turning a blind eye to the truth?